Hey, welcome to Web3 Weekly with your host, Blockstar Technology.
Let's go.
Hi guys. So welcome to the episode 22 of the podcast. So today we're going to talk about AI tools, and the second part of the podcast will be talking about the how the event's going to work and what we're going to do as well on that of our pitch night. So today we are missing Maureen, but today we have Craig and Charlie, and myself, Kosi. We're going to do the podcast today. So, alrighty, so let's get started. Okay, so we know that ChatGPT, right? That's at the moment everyone is talking about ChatGPT.
Yep.
Right. Charlie, you started a really good initiative with the team.
Yep.
As well. Do you want to start from that?
Yeah, just I guess really like it's sort of what I'm seeing from people out there is like AI is this dirty little secret that you don't want to embrace, but you want it to be able to accomplish things fast, effectively, and on when you're on your Twitter space, Cozzy, about the guy that started for medical science.
Yes.
And his brother had shown him ChatGPT.
Yep.
And gave him a rundown for 8 hours, and he accomplished a task that they've been working on for 10 months, and they thought he was a genius. And I think it's good, but at the same time, embracing it with the rest of the workplace to jump onto this technology and take advantage of it where we can. It doesn't always work perfectly, but if we can use it and you already know a bit about it, it can really speed up the processes. And at Blockstars, we're embracing AI. Wherever we can use it, we want to use it.
100%. Exactly. I think it's like there are quite a few things when it comes to AI, which some people like, they see as a threat, right? And some people see it as, oh, this is like so good to now use it, because now knowledge has been commoditized, right? It's almost like that. So like, say for example, for people who are like, the easiest, I would say, the example for me to use here is a content writers. So where the blog writers and who wrote content for ads and scripts, right? You couldn't do anything without their help, right? But now with the whole ChatGPT and all the other tools, we'll just go through the tools a little bit later on, and with that, now it has given anyone who can type a question access to generating content now.
It's like the next jump. I mean, if you go back a little ways, prior to the internet being a thing, there were very limited ways to get information and gather resources, I guess.
Talking about books.
Well, yeah, but if you want to go back that far, like, I mean, even back then, if you didn't own a set of encyclopedia or weren't close to a library, having access to that information was actually quite difficult.
Yeah, I even remember when I was young and YouTube first came out, I remember going on there and there actually wasn't that much information on YouTube where you look on there now and there's videos for everything.
And this, I think, is the same sort of acceleration. So back then, you had to go and either look in an encyclopedia or go to the library and look something up.
The
internet came about, massive information online at your fingertips. With the advent of smartphones, it became easier to access, no matter where you were. And I think this is the next progression
of that. I mean, like we used AI with not AI. Sorry, I think we're calling AI, but we'll be careful of it's AI is different from machine learning. Right. They have two different things. But let's just, for this instance, we just call AI just to keep it going. But we will reset the room a little bit later on. Okay, like the difference between AI and ML, and that's important. So we had Siri, we had Alexa, right? We had a lot of that, and also like Netflix using machine learning as well, right? It uses what we watch, when we watch it, how we watch it, like are we watching episodes, or are we sitting down and just binge watching the whole series? And the time optimization as well, and all of that being used in Netflix, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of other like Hulu and all of them are using it as well, right?
Yeah.
It's the same technology. So AI, we have been using AI even without realizing it's AI, isn't it? Like when it comes to
Where did the training data come from? It's we haven't necessarily been feeding the AI information, but we've certainly been putting the information up there that it's been using.
Yeah, 100%. And I think you know what, my TV, I know that it's listening to me, right? I know it's because every time I turn it on and then I go to before I go, I can't get to Netflix as fast enough before it just keep on blinking the mic. And I thought like, oh, I just turn this off. Every single time I turn it off, it just blinks. And now I just can't be bothered, so it's on. I'm like, okay, it's going to listen to whatever I'm going to talk about. Just like you said, what's your saying for the AI?
Which one? I welcome our new AI just in case they are listening.
Yeah, I mean, like on a exactly right. I mean, like we don't know exactly where we like there's another thing like a on an app. There's thing that you take your photo and it shows you when you're old, like say you're 80 or something. It will just show you how you looks like, right?
I look like that now.
You are young looking, my friend, right? Right.
Let's just
move on. So with that, and what they use is like it's a coder, I believe, in Russia, and all those images, people just took all the photos and they're like, oh, look at me when I'm old, right? That data was used back in that ML engine, but people are like, oh, this is really cool. I think, and I always say like people go convenience over privacy.
Yeah, so you're referring to the fact that by uploading that image, they were
feeding training.
Well, not just training. I think they're actually handing over the IP and usage rights of that image.
100%. That's exactly. Yeah, every time you use it.
Yeah. Which is going back to the whole Facebook being Web2.
Yes.
Anything you upload then becomes their property. They can do whatever they want with it.
Exactly.
Compared to Web3.
Yeah. 100%, right? So now let's go into the tools that that we come across, and there are hundreds of these tools, and we might just use like probably 0.01, even less than that, I would say, right? We use a small number of tools, and I think it's cool to share those tools with the community, right? So that end of the day, they get to learn as well, and it's good to share them, and then they can, if we miss out any tools, please let us know as well, and we would love to hear.
And like any other tool, it's important that it's used the right way.
Yes.
Or it's the right tool for the right job.
Yeah, 100%. It's always like that. What you had? What did you mention about the shovel? I like to.
Well,
come on, let's go down this.
I'm referring to some comments that were made in was a Twitter Spaces last week.
It was, yeah. Last week or week before?
Yeah, one or the other. But they were saying how it would be okay, like they're all okay with students using, ChatGPT. It's okay to go and get the answer, provided you figure out how it got there, so then show the working. While I understood their point, didn't necessarily agree with it. Because if you ask how to dig a hole, and the AI comes back and says you use a shovel, and then I have to go back and figure out, obviously using a shovel is easier than digging with my hands or anything of that nature. But if that's just accepted as the answer, then who's going to invent the backhoe or the bulldozer? It's just so unimaginative. And that's my other concern with these tools, is that while I think that it's definitely going to increase productivity, I think it's certainly going to stifle some innovation and creativity.
What if they say like, I want to dig the hole in 3 hours, and it's this much, and then it might say like, okay, you can't use a shovel.
But it only knows what it's trained on, and if no backhoe or bulldozer exists for that particular purpose, then it doesn't know about them. It doesn't go and invent things.
Maybe it is time to like stream every single document, like what Google has, like Google AI. I mean, that's where I'm super duper, I think we had a conversation this morning, right? About Google AI. ChatGPT is just scraping that Google database,
Yeah,
and
kind
they're
of, yeah.
and they're training like human, like okay, we saw another thing about Kenya. They're using people in Kenya to less than I think $2 a day or something like that to train that. Apart from that, but majority was the Wikipedia and all that to feed the training, right? So, and what like Google had this information already mapped out and trained and for decades.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking once Google AI comes into play, it'll be a lot more powerful than ChatGPT. Because they already got the data all labeled and so I'm pretty bullish on that. Okay, so what is the first AI/ML tool that we come across?
I would like to say OpenAI Playground, but it was actually NVIDIA Canvas.
Yeah.
Mm,
Do you guys remember the
Oh
NVIDIA
my
Canvas?
God.
yeah.
That's
When was
AI.
that? That was 8 months ago.
Yeah, we
More than that.
Maybe a
We
year.
were
A year ago.
we were able to draw like a kindergartner and have it produce photorealistic images from
Yeah.
From landscapes.
from our dodgy finger painting looking things.
yeah.
Right? What is it called again? It's called
NVIDIA Canvas.
NVIDIA Canvas. I wonder what happened to it now. They're still going or not?
Yeah, it'd still be going, and there's
Yeah.
probably packs now where you can do more with it. I haven't been on for a while. So.
I remember you guys saying like, you just draw a line and create a landscape and it just fill the.
Here's the mountain. Here's the water. Here's the tree.
It's like drawing in paint, but you pick your object, you draw it. Say you want a mountain, you go pick the mountain. It's brown. Okay. You draw a line. You go get the bucket.
Yes.
Fill the bucket, and it gives you as if you're on the side of a mountain. taking a
Photorealistic,
photo.
yeah.
Photorealistic, right? I mean, when we saw that, we were like, oh my God, this is like so cool. I remember, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is like, and so that because I think it was a little bit different from text because I think it's more visual, right? We could see it, we could interact with it, and it's really cool, right?
The interesting thing about that is at least not that text input isn't creative.
Yeah.
But it still at least had like a little bit of that artistic feel about it because you had to paint what you wanted, even though it looked like a child's drawing. you still had to paint it for it to produce it. Whereas like, some of the new tools that we'll get into, which are just, text to image and that sort of stuff are a completely different kettle of fish.
Yeah. We haven't devalued what others are doing, but I think we just found a shortcut to get, because it's all about speed to market, right? For a lot of people to get their information out there faster. So like, okay, like I've got, for example, they might have, here's something I was listening to early this morning, right? There's like 3 of them, like they're this old Western movie, right? And they're like, what is this name of this movie? And they could not, and they were Googling it, but they could not find
names, was it?
There are 3 people.
Oh, okay.
Right, 3 people, right? So they got together and and they're trying to find out what is the name of this Western, right? And they could not get their Google search, but they could not get it. And then one of the people just went on ChatGPT, explained this whole scene that they remembered in their head. Okay, this is what happened. This this movie, and then boom, it came up with the title.
Okay, I thought you were going to talk. Have you seen the guy on Midjourney, where there's people out there, and it looks just like a classic, like 70s Western, like zombie theme.
Yeah.
But he's brought in the creativity on it, but he's also been able to manage to cut those same, we'll just call them actors.
Yeah.
AI actors as such, and put them in different scenes within different environments.
Yes.
And he's like sequenced the whole movie, and
Of
people want
course.
the movie to come out. It's like, this looks sick. Like, when's this movie coming out? And it's all AI based from Midjourney.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really cool thing, right?
Yeah.
It opens up a lot more, and I think it's like for MVP things, it's cool, because now you can MVP a lot of the your ideas, right? So the next tool, I think we used this one again, like you guys used that, and then you told me
DALL-E E2.
DALL-E E2.
Yep.
Yep.
So what was that experience like, Craig? I remember it was you, right?
That was
Was it-
Charlie more so than me,
Yeah.
I think. But it was that, like any of the other tools.
Yeah.
It all comes down to what you can feed it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's
Like a baby.
well, yeah, maybe not, but yeah, it all depends on the prompting. The prompting is
Yeah.
very, very critical.
Hmm.
Just about anything you give it. It showed me that I have absolutely no artistic skill whatsoever, which I did already know,
Yeah.
and proved that it had more artistic skill than I do.
Yeah.
So that was my experience. It was
Hmm.
a little bit humbling knowing, okay, it can do a way better job than I can.
Yeah.
Just about everything.
Yeah.
So
So this one is more like a text to image, right?
yeah,
So it's like text to image, and yeah, I mean that's like that's part of the open AI group
Yeah.
as well, and the playground was really cool before it all. I don't think many people use playground.
Well, no,
Really?
because we were using Playground for quite a while,
Yeah.
and then
that was the beta open.
that was the beta
Yeah.
of ChatGPT, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and ChatGPT come out, and suddenly the
It
cat was out of the
exploded.
bag.
Yeah.
A lot of people, started adopting it.
Cool. So the next one I would like to go to is the text to video, right? And one of the things that I was playing with is called Flicky, and FLIKI. Again, what it does is once you give the text, it generates videos. And what I found in here is like, oh, you know what? That again gives me ideas.
Did it actually generate the video, or does it choose from videos?
It chooses from different templates.
Yeah.
Right, and then you can fine tune it, and then the more you use it, you can really optimize.
It also does that one also does voiceover for the text.
Exactly.
Else as you go.
100%. And also the other thing is like the Meta AI, right? Again, they also have their engine, to generate videos as well. And there's some GitHub repo as well. And if you guys need anything, please let us know, and we're more than happy to send it across.
And I think you only have to look at a couple of those tools
100%.
to realize how many of the videos that you've seen on socials that were produced by
Yes.
at the moment there is actually a ton.
Yeah.
Oh, it becomes quite dangerous. I was playing with Pictory.
Yes.
So I got ChatGPT to write me a book,
Yep.
and then I grabbed that book, fed it into Pictory, so it creates a video, and then I fed it someone's voice to read that, to duplicate that voice, and the more voice that it's got, whether it be mine or I have recordings of you, Craig,
Oh,
to
sure.
share. And it becomes quite dangerous. It
Yeah.
does. Like, there could be certain actors that people mimic and say that their coin is supported or sponsored by, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elon Musk or presidents or
Whoever, right? I would like to go to that text to audio. I think I want to touch base on that one. So when you did your book, right, the audio book, what did you use for that one? You used Pictory. So Pictory did the pictures, and did it also do audio as well, or?
Yeah, it does the audio too. So you feed it in your text, and you can choose a templated voice that they've got in there, and you choose a template where it just flips through, sort of like review. You don't need a face on there just yet; they're not there.
Yeah.
You can pick one of the pre-chosen models or actors on there, I believe. But you can also feed it your own voice or someone else's voice, and it will create your custom voice to read what you want it to read. And
Okay. That's pretty cool. I use a platform called Murf, MURF, Murf.ai. Now, Murf.ai, what I might do is I've been working on something for the last couple of days, just playing with all these different tools, right? I might get that done and send to you, Nathan, so that we can put on social media and just tag it. It's generated from this tool based on right?
Yep.
So this way, then not all of us can keep up with all the AI tools, but if we do something like this, okay, this was created using AI, this was done using AI. I think if we keep on doing maybe one of those videos a week or whatever, so at least more people will see like, oh, there are tools that they can use for their benefit. you know. And like you said, like there's nothing wrong with using AI, but better use it for the whatever the reason that they're using.
And GTS, like the text to speech stuff, has been
Yeah.
around for years and years.
Hmm.
It just wasn't quite as refined as it is nowadays.
I remember Dragon Dictate
Yeah, even before that.
even
yeah.
before that. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh? What? Huh?
Yeah. And the other one is Descript as well. So Descript is the same thing. So it does text to audio. And the beauty of that, you can use the who speaks as well. It's the what type of accent they need, like the Australian accent or US, British, the American accent or the US accent. But and you can create those things, and there's pauses you can put in as well. So you can put like a breath, so it stops rather than just so you can put those like with a long
Do you
breath
actually
and
hear it breathing?
no.
Okay, good, because that's getting creepy.
But I never tried that.
Just 30 seconds of breathing.
I might do that actually. So the next one is text to text, right?
Okay.
And obviously, text to text is Chat GPT. So think of a conversation.
okay. All right.
Yeah, conversation, right? Text to text. So conversation. So and I don't think I want to go too much into talking about Chat GPT because I think people pretty much have spoken a lot about Chat GPT but one of the things I would like to mention is like Grammarly. Now Grammarly using AI. Like whether we like, I know a lot of people using Grammarly, but I don't know that they understand it's an AI thing rather than just, it's like in Microsoft Word, it's just right? Okay, it works out the grammar. But Grammarly is AI. So basically what happens when you register with Grammarly logs in and it tracks how you write your content and your style of write as well. And based on that, it tells you, okay, this is the sentiment of your email or your document, and you can change it. You can change the sentiment. I want to do a professional email or whatever it is, and based on that, it will change the tone and give you the right words and phrases.
So using the AI to do that, but then having it learn your specific style on top of that is almost like algorithmic on top of AI.
On top of that. And that's when you log in with your Gram. So it's a free, the free tool will do the general things, but once you sign up, then it start learning your ways of writing things. And
so it can misspell just as often as I do.
No.
You
don't. No, I said that you don't misspell. So Grammarly learns from you.
Right.
So it helps me and Charlie. Right. And one of the other tools I am using, I start using in the last maybe couple of days is Jasper. So Jasper is JASPER. So Jasper, again, that's really cool because they got like already pre-created templates that you can use, whether it's the quick blog or is it something like what do you call us, whatever it is. You can whatever it is. I've only said once, but there are about 12 or 16 templates that you can pick, and it generates it, and then you can really start customizing it the way that you want it.
So what sort of input do you have to give it? Is it
same as ChatGPT,
okay.
But then you can also say in Jasper, you can also say, okay, what is the tone? So the tone can be friendly or informative or educational, or so you can give the tone of the thing, and then also you can say who is your target audience. So it's a CEO or is it a finance person or manager?
And that's one of the things to understand, I guess, is that you could probably do the exact same thing. I'm pretty sure you can do the same thing in ChatGPT.
Yes.
But they are pre-prompting, I guess, with the template so that it's a little more targeted. So rather than you saying, like, write me a story about Charlie, for example, they're saying in a particular style for this particular format and that type of thing. So
that's a really good point you brought up, Craig, because there are prompts. So now there are people who are writing the prompts and selling those prompts.
Yeah.
Right.
To get the best out of that's right.
There's a marketplace for it now, right? Because now people like selling shovels instead of
digging the hole.
Right? And that's the other thing, like where there's arbitrage or wherever they want to play, there things like there's everyone now type things, and like the other thing, we'll go to the other one, which is the text to image and things like that, because then we're going to talk about other tools, and people see like, I want to do something like that, especially like when Charlie uses his things. I'm like, I want to do that, but I can't. It's because my prompts are really bad. right? I can't get that out of my head. I know what it looks like, but I can't express it, right?
Yeah.
And what people have done is they have created all these prompts, and now you just copy and paste, and
A similar thing happened when like DALL-E 2 first came out, and they showed you some fantastic examples of something, and I'll make something up, and you go, oh, look, that looked really cool. I'll jump on it and type, photorealistic image of a cat surfing, and it's nothing like it because the prompts that they must have used to be so specific about things.
That's right.
It's an art form in itself.
Then that's where, like Charlie was saying, isn't it?
Yep.
There's a creative aspect.
It's
Even
not
the-
as creative as hand and paintbrush, but it's still
But it is
It's
different.
a different type of creative.
different type of
Yeah.
It's a writing and imaginative type creative as opposed to, a physical or
100%. 100%. So if we talk about text to image, if we talk about DALL-E, and I think the other one we forgot to speak about is
Mid-Journey.
Mid-Journey.
I think Mid-Journey is a level above
Yeah.
DALL-E.
Yeah. I mean, that's where Charlie, your skill just,
Shines.
you just shine. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously with the Mid Journey. I don't know. People try to, I don't know whether they know how to use Mid Journey. It's like it's a Discord that you go to, and then it's / imagine, and then you start typing, the prompt. So and then it generates, and I believe I tried to create a banner, but you can't create those banners. It's only 4 by 3, the ratio for and I think 16:9 or 1 by 1. I think that's it. They don't do the whole if I can't do 1200 by 400 banner, for example. They don't allow it yet. I don't know. Maybe
you can't get it to do a 4x3, but tell it
I can do like that
X amount
square.
of black at the top and bottom.
Yeah, I can do
Is
that.
that not all in the prompt?
Yeah, no. Well, I can't do a long banner.
Yeah,
I
I understand
can't
that,
custom.
but could you not do it in a 4x3?
Yeah.
Telling it that you wanted it to add the black bars, and then just take the middle section.
No, because it's not high res enough, right? I can't say 1200 pixels.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just the aspect ratio.
Yeah, it's not just
also-
it's the pixel size, and you can say 4K. And what's your experience being, Charlie?
I enjoy it. I love it. You can you can go to a website you like, right? You can grab the URL and say, build me a template from this URL for a sneaker, for a fashion brand sneaker, and it'll read that URL and give you the same format of the
use that
template
style of website.
that style of template and give it what you want. So it's a lot more advanced than ChatGPT. I mean, DALL-E.
Yeah.
And it's, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but it's the combination of these tools that then gets really interesting. As we discussed the other week, one of the videos that I saw online.
Oh yeah, something about that.
Was a gentleman that said, right, I want to start. I think it was like a woman's.
Sneaker.
No, it wasn't. No, it was
clothing?
like activewear or something
Okay,
brand,
yes.
right? And I can't remember if he had the name or the initials, but from that it came up with, I think, either the name and the logo.
Yeah.
It then used something else to design the actual clothing. Then another tool to generate the website, another one for the content, all of the marketing and everything else. And it was literally a matter of minutes. It went from a concept to having everything that he needed to actually, start this online business.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was that was actually going to be doing the manufacturing, because I don't think the AI is quite at that stage.
Yeah.
He had everything else that he needed.
Yeah. And there's things like, and also you can use AI to generate music as well.
Yeah.
Again, like Murph AI got that, ability in there as well. There's the other one, I think, I believe Descript as well. I think there's another one for music, man, I can't remember. But guys, if you go in the chat, if you have any suggestions, please send us through, and we're more than happy to talk about those tools as well. And then if you talk about, next one is the code. So text to code, right? So ChatGPT does some, but not as effective. Obviously, we saw the first one was Copilot,
Yeah.
right? When I saw that, it really, excited me,
Hmm.
but not developers.
The, yeah, but the issue with that is you had to start, I believe you had to start writing the actual
Yes,
code. So
if
it'd
the
be like,
code it understands the
it's the equivalent of the old paperclip that was in Microsoft Word.
Clippy.
Oh, I see you're writing such and such, and it tries to help.
Yeah.
So as soon as you'd started, like, a particular function or something of that nature, it went,
Yes.
oh, it's this. And you could
Yeah.
mash the tab key and have it finished.
Yeah.
The big improvements at the moment are like I don't know if it's part of ChatGPT 3. One of the guys out here was looking at the other day, but there's a plugin.
For VS Studio.
That's right, for Visual Studio.
Coming back to probably the first one I used would have been Copilot. actually.
Copilot, yeah.
Yeah.
Before.
And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But with this one, you simply add text as comments. So explain what you want the code to do. Hit the button and it writes the entire lot, and you don't even have to start writing a lot of code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
There's
go ahead.
also one called Codedam, CODEDAMN, and
Oh damn!
Codedam, and it's plugged into ChatGPT as well. It's got ChatGPT help,
Yeah.
but it will teach you it teaches you coding.
Yeah.
From nothing to everything, back end, database, front end, you name it.
Oh wow!
So-
Okay.
And the AI will walk you through it and educate you on how to do it.
I'm all for people being educated and knowing the stuff that they're doing, but how many people do you think are going to bother to actually learn from the AI when it can just do it for them?
Well, I mean, like learning. I mean, the same thing as like if you think of like books.
They'll get
If the
stuck
robot
some-
vacuum cleaner like bumped into your chair and said, "Excuse me, Cozzy, would you like me to show you exactly how I'm sweeping all this stuff up?" You'd be like, "No, just go and do
No, I'm going to do it.
it."
Exactly.
That's the
I really
thing,
don't want to know it.
I
But
know,
the AI is not quite all the
I
way
don't need to
there
know what
yet,
it's
so
saying
you
under the
do
couch.
need to know the foundations of it
Yes.
to be
Probably it'll be really updated by next week.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting
Yes.
concept if you look at the AI as a teacher.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
as
you know
we
what?
said, third world countries.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny. Like I was having this conversation with my wife, right? I said, like, for me, I look at I'm pretty optimistic, right? With everything, right? With in life general, right? I'm super. I think the humans we got all worked out. We just got a little bit of like anything. We are not perfect. Not like you, Craig.
No.
Right, and I was like, so when you go, when you're born, obviously, you get I'll go with the Apple, not Samsung, with the Apple, right? Right. You get your AI in it, AI nanny, and it's there with you for the rest of your life. It learns from you and becomes your little.
I like that.
She got scared. You're like, hell
Hell no.
Also, on another one is quite funny, as I've seen around on Twitter lately, is there's four good-looking blonde girls there,
Yeah.
and they're saying that they're AI. I don't know whether they're AI or they're not, but they're saying the people on OnlyFans are going to take a big hit when they're
no.
when there's someone in their grandma's basement being able to create realistic photos for
I mean,
places
it's
like
coming,
that.
right? And
Everyone
the
videos.
thing with all that is like we put a lot of our photos online, whether we like it or not. Just even having one photo there is good enough for anything.
What happens when the AI realizes it's out of our league?
What do you mean? Oh,
Good question. I don't know.
I think that's where I think
I'll tell what it's not.
I guess as far as it's like sort of machine learning, I think probably will be a lot more, there because it's like what we feed is what they learn. They can't be when I say they like it's
They.
like machine. Just gave birth to one.
There's the other side of that would infer there's an us. So it's
That's right.
us and them.
And they've no. I'll say we.
We welcome our you.
So I can't even remember what I was going to say now.
And I think we're only on the cusp of it. We're still in like the dump stages of the early internet.
Yeah, we don't have strong AI yet, right? I
We
think
don't,
general
yeah.
AI comes into it, and then like the next those that the neural networks and all that given like the most the most law, like how silicon
Moore's law, yeah.
Moore's law, right? Given that, and now with whole quantum computing, it's a different law altogether. I mean, like they're just doubling like pretty much
The
every.
next 10 years is going to be crazy.
It's going to be crazy, right?
Be crazy.
And this is where that computing power. When you look at things like that, now we are doing this whole training AI on GPU, and think quantum computing. How much data can we use the neural networks and all that?
Yeah.
And that's why obviously we had to. I think we had to realize that AI will be more powerful than us, whether we like it or not, right? And are you going to just unplug it?
Well, you need to be really careful, I guess, at that point, even prior to that point, because before you even get to quantum computing, because nobody really knows how far off it is, if the AI at the moment is providing information,
Yeah.
like I said, I believe that in the not too distant future, it will be able to start actioning things.
Yes.
Yes.
So it might be something like very simple at first. So rather than just, retrieving information, like, ask the fridge how many eggs I've got left, go and order the eggs,
Yeah.
whatever,
But it's already happening at the moment.
that type of stuff is, but it's not necessarily AI. That's
It's not
just
AI. It's
technically-
just ML.
That's right, yeah.
That
But-
it learns.
so when you start getting the AI being able to action things,
Yeah.
and then it gets that exponential growth from,
Yeah.
like what you're talking about with quantum computing.
Your explanation today was awesome.
Don't
For the
remember which
holiday.
one that one was.
The holiday.
AI with the actioning a holiday.
No, I
Like,
don't
you mean
know.
like no? I think I mentioned it because Google got the
Got
all the
everything.
flight information,
What did you
Yeah.
pricing,
Yeah.
all that, and now it realized, okay, it knows your home calendar because everyone puts, okay, oh, I'm gonna, like you have a calendar, right, Charlie, with the
Yeah.
family.
Yep, my
Right?
wife has a calendar.
Yeah, I mean we have a calendar, but it does not work with me, right? I don't know. I can't stick to those calendars. I got like 3 or 4 things going on. Same. I'm like, oh, yeah, honey, I can do it. But then realize, oh no, I can't, right? So then I pick whichever the one that
Ding.
kill me.
It's 4 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock. You have 16 appointments.
Yeah, that's it, right? Now if you feed all the information and the AI, Alexa, is listening to all your conversations, what's going on, like, oh, now it realized, oh, there's a sentiment of talking about holidays, or let me gather the information,
We can give you this awesome holiday for
Holiday.
under $1,000 and book it
Exactly,
with the
right?
click of an
And-
OK.
Yeah, and then it's all with Google. And then what happens with Google is like now you have to have a brand there, because it's not about how now you have to optimize to something else, right? You have to optimize not by search like keywords, maybe like brand and review systems, and all of that comes into it,
Or order me the new Apple iPhone and then get it delivered to and then get it held there until 5 p.m.
So I mean, like,
Well, you
Actually
don't have to-
asking
you
it
don't
to
have
order
to-
something. And this
No,
is
you
what-
don't have to.
It will automatically do it if you buy the iPhone so many times. Do you want us to automate this?
This is
Because he's like, yes.
this is one step beyond what I was saying this morning when we had this brief chat, and that is that at the moment, like we're talking about that article that came from the guy that actually created Gmail,
Yes.
who said that he thinks that Google's
Hmm.
current business won't exist in a couple of years due to ChatGPT and AI. Now, the big difference between the two is that when you use Google, it'll present you with a list of results, and you get to choose. Now, sure, like other sites, and whether it's you searching for a video on YouTube or social media feeds, yes, they run algorithms.
Yeah.
And the fear with those that I think we've discussed in podcasts previously is that they can end up with a bias because it thinks, oh, that's what you like, so I'll keep showing you more and more and more of that, and it ends up right at one end of the
Oh,
spectrum.
of course.
Right?
Of course.
So, but at least with search results, you have the choice of what you want to look at, and there might be opposing opinions. It might come up, like you might just search anything and it comes up with 2 articles, so it'll come up with about 150,000.
Yeah, but again, let's know.
But you have the choice of reading those 2 articles.
But if you're logged in with your account, you might get fed completely different set of results.
Yes, but it's a set of results.
Yeah.
And chances are there will be opposing
Yeah, but how
points
many?
on that.
Yeah,
Right.
but you
So
go to the page 2 of Google.
At least, no, but even just on the first page, there's 10. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is, with the AI, and you ask it a question, here's the answer.
Hmm.
It's not like, oh, there are several opinions on this.
Yes.
It's here's the answer.
There's only one result. First page, one result.
So
Yeah.
what happens when it knows that your holiday that you want is coming up,
Yeah.
and it automatically, because it can action things, goes and books flights
Yes.
on the dodgiest airline that it can find, who have aircraft that keep falling out of the sky,
Maybe
because they're not using blockchain to track their parts. Do you know what I mean? Because it made the decisions for you.
Yeah, but I think probably it will look at, like, when you look at like what Tesla drive, like Tesla at the moment, right? What they're doing. I mean, like, it's still, after so much coding, it's still not right. Like, we had this whole thing about, okay, if you're hitting something, okay, what if you children in a bus or an old person, and you still can't make those decisions, right? And I think
My concern is, if you ask, and I'm just
Yeah.
making this up, this isn't accurate in any way, shape, or form, but just to prove my point or make my point.
Yeah.
If you ask the Tesla AI,
Yeah.
how do I get these 3 pallets of lumber home?
Hmm.
It's going to tell you to strap them to the roof of your Tesla.
Hmm.
It's not going to tell you to go and buy a damn truck or hire a trailer,
Hmm.
because it's a Tesla
Yeah.
and it knows itself and it's your mode of transport.
Hmm.
And that's my point, where there are other options available to you that may not include it or
And this is what I'm
come back
saying.
from its bias.
And this is what I'm saying. When you're born, you get an iPhone.
No.
Yes,
But you can say, give me a opposite.
No.
view. But I guess like no one's gonna ask that, right? Because everyone wants to like work it out. Their logic is the right logic, right? I mean, that's things like, I think the ethical, I think the ethics play a huge role.
Are you looking for the truth, or are you looking for validation?
Validation. I
Yes.
mean, that's
Yes.
exactly it. I mean, like, if Maureen was here, I know that I can see Maureen in our Twitter space. If so that if Maureen was here in person, we can't talk like this with a iPhone. When you're born, you're gonna get an iPhone and then to stay there for the rest of your life. We will not be able to say any of that stuff, right? We'll get like
We will get
Oh.
AI effect.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right. So while Maureen not here, let's talk about
No.
AI is like really, really good.
AI in a positive way.
Positive.
And then when Maureen comes back, we'll talk about all the other AI
Isn't
stuff.
It's tomorrow Cozy's, tomorrow Craig's, and tomorrow Charlie's problem.
No.
Let me ask the AI then.
Yeah.
I mean, what we're talking about here are AI tools.
Yeah.
And it's tools is the important bit here.
Mhm.
As I gave the shovel analogy earlier,
Mm.
better to dig a hole with a shovel than it is with your hands.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't go and invent, like, a backhoe or a bulldozer.
Of course.
A shovel, however, can be used to, smack somebody across the back of the head.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be used that way. Not what it was designed for.
Mm.
Doesn't mean that it couldn't be used that way.
Yeah.
So just like any other tool, use it correctly.
Cool. All
And
right.
safely.
100%. On that note, I just want to now a bit of a reset. So we spoke about a bit of AI. I think we can talk forever, right? And we know few of the people on this call. I can see them Darren, who's super knowledgeable in this side, like given Darren's involvement in the in the industry and whatsoever. So and we would love to hear from any of you guys who jump in and more into. Right, and please, request to speak, and we're more than happy to, let you have a, because end of the day, we want to learn as well.
Oh, I'm happy to know,
100%,
to know how wrong I am.
Yeah.
You're never wrong, Craig. I've been saying to you.
It's very.
It's not what the AI says.
Did you ask it 2 + 2, or did you ask it? Mike's mum has 3 kids.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get. Okay, we have. Oh my God, what happened? I didn't cut them. Okay, okay, cool. Let's. We have 2 requests. Darren and Maureen. Let's bring them up. All right, guys. You are here. Maureen, you want to, or Darren? All right, Darren, you're on, my friend.
Yeah. Just giving you realistically, we only know so much, and so we're going to translate these things. knowledge. Never mind the fact that we make bad decisions all the time. And if you don't believe me, you should get married.
Good. That's funny.
I've been pulling my hair out listening to every time because he's like, and Maureen's not here to say anything. Talking about, and I just wanted to add something on Craig's comment earlier. And while AI and machine learning may not be the ones executing decisions just yet, there's a real fine line with people that are in the power and position to execute those decisions are heavily relying on the AI and the machine learning. I think we had a previous episode where we discussed this, and all over the world, and I don't want to be that lawyer, but there are so many injustices happening all over the world because people have been given these sets of AI tools and they have not stopped to question how the AI is reaching those answers. They put something in and then it spits out the answer and they just act on the answer. The whole thinking about how it got there and the fact that it is opaque, the computer code is opaque, and you cannot see what steps to derive that outcome has caused so many people, in America, for example, to have to go be refused bail or, be determined based on biased data sets that they will re-offend just because they're black or something. So I think that this is AI and machine learning can be dangerous to the extent that if people do not learn to see where the information is coming from, the data and whether it's biased, and don't start questioning how did it get that outcome, trouble.
Yeah, but just remember that AI is a statistical pattern machine, right? So it learns from patterns, and unfortunately, some of the patterns that exist have got biases in them. Once you move away from repeating the patterns that exist, and don't get me wrong, I agree with you that some of those patterns are terrible. Then you are in the really unenviable position where you're editing data, so you are then making the choice over the top, and that is the whole. I've been involved in many discussions around the efficacy of what sense. So, if you think about it, there are certain lawyers or certain judges that we know in Queensland have a biasry towards, for example, you have a harsh judge and you have an easy judge, you know what I mean? And we know that. So on the average, this is what they would do. But if you pick out the easy judge, then all of a sudden the model moves more. So it's really difficult for us to generate the we're looking for when you're talking about the actual information at hand. A funny AI story is I did computer vision model for SafeSide, and we were doing hard hand detection. So are you wearing your safety helmet? And I had a guy who kept bringing watermelons onto the site, giving me false positives and sent me alarms because he didn't do hard hands.
Oh my God. I mean, that's it. I mean, it's just still, I would say it's still there is better than someone's watching them consistently. At least with these tools, at least there we get alarmed of something. Like sometimes it's false positives, but at least you get something. Like Dan, I remember you mentioning at one of our not our meetups, but we caught up at the maybe like last year, just before Christmas at the Las Palms, and then we spoke about how the AI can be, how the AI can be used with regards when it comes to the old homes to monitor the people falling and capturing it. I would love to hear that, Darren.
Well, me and mine did a previous company which was doing Blockstars and stuff that did fall detection through mobile phones and switches. So then they were trying mercury switches and all this sort of mechanisms to detect someone is going to fall over. And the reality is that a certain age is normally around in home care because people want to stay at home as long as possible. And then you have facilities who have hospice homes. So you've got people in the homes, but somebody comes there with dinner, but they sort of live on their own. The issue with the full devices is people don't put them on, right? Especially when you've got people with learning or sort of learning difficulties, but a dedication of certain faculties, they start to forget to do things. And this is where the computer vision models to detect somebody lying down or falling can be used to replace that sort of active management participation, because now it becomes passive. Now that company's no longer going, but we knew then that this is where it was going, but the models weren't ready and the cost wasn't ready. What's coming and what we have now is amazing. We have the ability to do what I call small giants, and having a small team do amazing things because we build on the backs of others.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think JPEG, you're on, and after JPEG, Huxley, you can talk, my friend.
So I've sort of been doing a deep dive in AI the last 2 months, and it's interesting because one of the things is I'm sort of more from a construction background, and I sort of jumped into Web3 recently, and obviously got exposed to AI. But I guess one of the things that I'm trying to figure out is I've had a real interest in getting involved in programming, potentially going back to university and studying computer science and programming. So the thing that I'm trying to wrap my head around now is, with the advancement of AI, the future iterations that will come out, would it be worthwhile contributing 3 or 4 years of time, professional degree about programming, when potentially AI will circumvent a lot of those skills?
Can I start by saying this is not educational advice? Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Derek. And I can't answer for you in your specific, I guess, current circumstances.
Yeah.
But if it were me, I don't think I would be personally. Like, given the opportunity, like knowing what I know now and seeing where this stuff's going,
Yeah.
To go and, especially in this country, at the cost that would be, I guess you should go back and compare it to a few other things as well. Like, would I go back and decide to start selling encyclopedias just before the internet, comes out or became popular? Yeah, probably. My personal thought would be no. But like I said, this is not educational advice.
So I might jump in. I actually did CS selection on the CS courses. Well, I done last year, but anyway. And I've done work at and I was going for residence. You start on accelerator with student services and stuff. And I know the guys who run the MBA and a few other things, and some of the other lecturers. So look, it depends on what your career choices are. In short, what is it you want to do? If you just want to build stuff, there are many other ways to get the same sort of knowledge, but you're not necessarily going to have the depth of knowledge that you would get through a degree. The primary stuff you do through a degree in a CS department is very fundamentally based, and understanding stuff from the ground up. And in all due respect, you can work on a car without getting mechanics certification. You don't necessarily need that full depth to have the impact. Like most people drive a car, they don't need to, but they might be able to do an oil change. They might be able to do the stuff themselves. Stuff they need to go to a specialist. So I'd say that there's many options for you to look at. There's an absolute heap of online free content that you can start to access. Full degree courses with all of their content basically on YouTube for free. MIT stuff is all there. Most of the lecture series on AI are all there in particular. A lot of them are very heavy math, statistical math based. So realistically, what you're going to do, the majority of us on AI, we're going to consume AI. So it's really about understanding how to work with a prompt. And that's not going to come through in a sort of degree course. So once you leave a degree and you come to work for me, because I've hired tons of graduates over the years, I I'm going to basically put you through a new boot camp and teach you how to do your day job, because what you is
Yeah.
one of the different things.
100%.
Very few people come out of university knowing how to write a fucking unit test, or what the hell Git is, or how to use source control, which are things you'll be expected to do. And as for employment, I'm more interested in what you've done. Show me your code. Let me see your GitHub. Let me see where you're learning. If you want to learn AI, Hugging Face is the place to go. It's got all the models. It's got all the stuff to play with, and understanding below the cover. But there's so much information. It's hard to justify this. Sorry.
Okay, shall we let Huxley go now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for bringing me up. I know I had a few audio issues before. I guess first of all, just wanted to maybe echo what Darren was talking about. Like, I totally agree with what you're saying. If you want to be a software engineer and you're ready to spend the next 10 years going down that path and getting that depth, then totally, go and take that path. If you're just doing it because you want to just dabble in it and it's just something you want to get a little bit of experience in, like what Darren's saying, plenty of online opportunities out there for you. So if you want to then go down the prompt path, that's when it starts to shift into different styles of preparing yourself for a workplace. So, in my experience, becoming more creating working documents and becoming more vocational in the way that you learn prepares you a little bit in a different way for jobs. And I mean, so if you have other opinions about that, I'm happy to talk about it. Like, well, what I do is focus on the prompting of AI and sort of the strategies and the top level aspects of navigating blockchain and AI. So that way, I can create something or go down the path of developing something. That doesn't mean I necessarily have to be on the forefront of development. I could just be consulting on the side from a strategic point of view and give a little bit of direction and create maybe some more working documents and more visibility over what we're trying to achieve and even what sort of frameworks that we need to build under, legal frameworks, sort of, work with the tech team around how they work and get them all together and really help everyone from the tech, legal, business departments do the best that they can achieve, the best they can with clarity and communication over the project. There's different ways that you can go down it. I mean, definitely, I've seen some incredible software engineers that are playing with AI right now and coding themselves out of existence. But I think that the fact that they're in it and they've been on it and they're going to stay on that path for a long period of time. They're in it for the long haul. I just that's where I would see, like, think about where your 5 and 10 year goal is. Where do you see success for you? And if you do have a passion of launching a project, where do you feel like you would be best suited in a role within that project? And I often see business as being an incredible, value coming into blockchain right now. If you've got business experience, you're looking at more of that top level legal experience. There's a lot more than just the technical sides to come into providing value into a project. So,
Yeah, 100%.
Well, did I miss? I may be confused slightly. Did I miss the question? I thought you just wanted to know how to be a developer, or rather than want to work in projects.
Yes.
I just want to understand.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think Huxley did touch on sort of the point. So essentially, I'm not going too much into my background, but the way that I'm thinking about it, so I'm in, I guess, what you would call a bit of a crossroad in terms of what do I want to focus on. I've sort of closed it down to what do I want to focus on now. And the way that I'm thinking about it, I'm trying to think about it very clearly in terms of, okay, where is the next wave? And obviously, I've got to enjoy what I'm doing, but putting it aside, where's the next way in terms of opportunities? And with AI, trying to grasp how powerful this tech is going to be and how disruptive it's going to be, and then trying to align myself accordingly so I can excel essentially in business, because that's the space that I'm in. From a business perspective, how can I excel in digital things?
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then I thought, my initial thought was, okay, well, at least if I, this is a thought like 6 months ago now, like if I sit down and get a really strong grasp of, software engineering programming, that would be a good, not so I'm a full-time developer myself, but in terms of actually then leveraging that to be able to manage businesses within that space. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, there are like code stuff on weekends, and like there's like Reels Girls and a bunch of other like obviously that one's gendered, but there's ones that aren't gendered that are trying to introduce you, and that you could just spend a weekend or like a month or a 3 month sort of weekend evenings working on this stuff, which will give you a very basic comprehension, but it isn't necessarily enough to get you a job. But it depends what you're trying to do here. I think AI is like electric; it's going to impact everyone. So learning to play with it is going to help you.
Yeah. It's real quick because I don't want
Like if you want to, like I personally, did some CV models early on, and that definitely gave me some context when I work with AI. But these days, you can work with AI and just be really good at creating, strategies and documents and tables. Like it doesn't mean that you have to be coder. You can also be the one that creates, specifications for the coders to help them give direction. Or I mean, sometimes you can have like slightly more of a technical touch on that. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying that coders always need that specification. Sometimes they're very good at just doing what they do.
You're 100% right, Oxley. Like there's a lot, there's a lot of engineers that do exactly what they're told, and a lot of business people that don't know what they want done. So they get a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So there's a whole sway of stuff there which value can be delivered. There's another, like you always have these classes of developer for each of these new technology cycles that come through. Because like I've been around tech for a while, so we've seen specialists come in, and I've started to see people doing what's called a prompt engineer, which because models require you to really understand how to get the most out of them, because you're sort of tweaking them, and you're almost like picking the lock to get the most value out. And the average person doesn't have the time to understand how to get the most value out of a model. So there's definitely like consulting services. There's some TikToks I follow that are people doing sort of prompt engineering and giving advice how to get better prompts for certain scenarios, and that will grow as a sector and as a way to deliver value. It's like, how do I use this tool? So I'll show you how to drive a car. I don't know how to build the car, but I can teach you.
And it's important to know that, like the same with the AI prompts, whether it's coding, I think it's very beneficial to at least, even if you're not a coder, to know it.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking down to the nuts and bolts, but if a developer came to you, Darren, and said, "Oh yeah, what you asked me to do, that's going to take me 3 weeks," and it's a 3-hour job, the only way it's a 3-hour job is if you know enough about it. Same as if, whatever you get back out of the AI, do you take it as gospel? Or if you know enough, you know that, hang on a minute, that's not right, or it could be better.
Yeah.
Throw something else in there and be like, personally, if I'm not on the forefront of code, I'm not staying up to date with code, which I used to, but I don't anymore. So I would say that even thinking that you know how long that's going to take without being at the edge of your field is going to be very difficult, and probably better off having an expert that you're close with that can give you
You
And
still have to
advice.
give that trust to someone, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I went through a process of doing every role in an organization, a CFO, HR, so that I knew what I was hiring in. You know, there's a lot of things that you think you need and don't need really because you don't understand the job. So at some point you have to devolve that responsibility to someone who you have to trust. But the point he's making is I would know roughly, not I would know how long it takes, but I would know in a range if it's a small, medium, or large impact thing. You know, is it a big cost, a small cost,
Yeah.
or medium?
And
You can call bullshit. Well, there's
that's
different ways.
exactly right. And
In fact, there's another stuff. But the more you know, generally the more decisions you make. But you can have a mental model, which is probably the best way to describe this, of understanding how the code works without understanding why exactly it works.
yeah, and that's only going to get shorter than what you know. And just really quickly before we move on to our how topic, if so, nowadays with the IDEs that everybody uses, with the help of AI, you know, they can go and find a repository, a code base that does a whole heap of stuff they don't have to write. Whereas back in my day, it was like, you know, jump into a terminal and fire up VI. And if I can do it in VI in 3 hours and you're telling me it takes 3 weeks, then I'm really going to call bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, that's it, right? And, you know, that's all that. So, cool. Alrighty. Let's, on that note, let's move. I think that's the AI is such a big topic.
I think
that
we're
we
going to
can-
come back to this one, don't we? For sure.
One of these, yeah. I
For
think
sure.
probably, I think I would like to, you know, get like, you know, talk about like prompt part because that's going to be so big, right?
Check it on the TV and have a
Yeah, let's have a really good session about prompt. You know, because it's carving another whole.
As
you
I
know,
say, you've got to know how to talk to her to get the results.
Yeah, just like a kid, right? It's just like a kid. Cool. All right. So let's move on to our next, the last part of the podcast. We're going to double up the podcast with the event, right? So today we're going to talk about like how you know part of the event, right? So
pitch night
about the pitch night.
on 7th of February,
7th of February.
Tuesday,
Yeah.
5:30
Yep,
at the island.
that's right. You know, and it's super important to. Sorry, Maureen.
Just clearing it up. It's at the Jude's Parlor.
Yeah, Duke's Parlor, which is part of the island. Yeah, 100%. Thank you. And so we're gonna start like talk about like you know how to attend, right? So we got few people you know contacting us and asking, oh, I'm not pitching, so can I be part of it? We answered that yesterday, and today we're gonna ask about how can you know how to send the pitch or how to attend.
And for anybody that wasn't listening yesterday, yes, you may attend. You don't have to pitch.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so we are getting pictures through Twitter, DMs, and through Insta, and I think someone even also sent some to TikTok. And I'm like, you know, so when we see that, like, okay, look, we had to direct them back to the website. So you know, on Twitter Spaces, obviously you can't see the screen, but Craig, can you drive the screen for our you know Insta
And
Live?
also, just to address again, if you're local or can make it on the night to the island, you can pitch your idea.
Yeah, exactly. So you know, we can
we
picture
cut
that
back.
you can send your pictures to us, and
Send
we'll
your
pick
pitch.
those
We'll
pictures.
cut back.
Yeah, exactly. So so Craig, okay, drive the screen. Yeah, so you're on the home page.
So we're on blockstars.com.au.
Yeah, so for anybody that wants to just attend, again, just blockstars.com.au. There will be, it's
No.
moved up me.
Yeah, so if you click on the home page,
There
yeah,
we go. So the Innovations Pitch Night will come up on the homepage. There's a nice big button to find out more. Down the bottom of this page, there is a button that you can click to RSVP now to
Yep.
indicate that you'd like to come along and attend.
Yep.
Alternative to that, if you would like to actually pitch, we have a form on this page that you can fill out, attach your details, send
Yep.
it through to us, and we will let you know by Saturday if you've been chosen.
yeah, by Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah.
over the weekend, we'll let you know. And
Yeah.
and also, if you go to there's an events link on the top main menu. So under the events, on the events, if you click on that again, that there's a on that page. If you scroll down, There's all the details are there. There's a RSVP. So when you click on that RSVP, it will take you to the meetup page, and please RSVP there so that we know the numbers, so that we would not be short when it comes to pizzas.
Yeah, it's
Paying for pizza.
Yeah. And doors are open from 5:30, but we start the event at 6 p.m. But you're more than welcome to come anytime from 5:30 and.
Early because there's limited seating, isn't there, Charlie?
There is limited seating. Yes.
Yeah. And all right, cool. So that's it. So you can send the pictures as well. And the last part is how to present, right? So with that, again, we spoke to a couple of guys today, this afternoon during lunch, which is like, okay, how do they, it's like, oh, I'm still working on it. I'm trying to get this my idea into 10 slides, and I'm like, I didn't ask how many slides he got. Maybe he got 1 or 2, or maybe he got 35, right? So what I said to him, like, look, don't worry about the number of slides, right? How to pitch is pretty much a maximum of 10 slides. You can have 3 slides if you want to, or one, but make sure that you take the people, the panel, on that journey. Tell them the story, because if they can't resonate with why you're doing it, there's no, they can't, they're not super. I don't think like they understand the blockchain, that, blockchain is what supports it. You have to say, okay, this is why the blockchain really, that's why you're using the blockchain, not just because it's cool. So there needs to be a good reason why you're using the blockchain. So when you're doing the pitch, how you're doing the pitch is like pretty much take the people on that journey and tell your story, and then make them understand why you're using the technology, and
explain your vision.
And also explain your vision, and also don't think you have to win this event, this pitch night. It's not about winning or anything like that. If your idea is good, it will get selected. It's simple as that. You're not beating anyone. There's plenty of room for everyone to win here. So you're running your own marathon here, and so bring you can add value, and how you're going to do it is up to you, right? So so pretty much that's it for today. So let's close it. And any closing comments, Charlie?
No.
Great.
Not from me. But
No.
see you guys Tuesday, 7th of Feb.
Yeah.
At the island.
I think that's it, and it'll be a good time. Yeah, Duke's Parlor.
Duke's Parlor.
Yeah, and it'll be a good time there to meet up quite a few like-minded people there, and
it's just like our normal meetup.
Exactly that.
People have said if it was a specific closed event, but no, everyone's welcome to come attend. Everyone's welcome to send in their pictures on the website, and
Bring a friend.
Bring a friend.
Bring a friend
or 2
Yeah.
or friends. Yeah. And the more people that come down and listen to it and network, it's best for all of us. And that's the thing. It's all about you have to if you're in this space, you just have to meet people, because that's the way you're going to knowledge. Because at the end of the day, you can't do everything yourself. You need good people around you. So the more people you get involved with and share your knowledge, and you don't have to know everything. You don't have to be the smartest person. But sharing that knowledge with whatever you know. And go with your glass is half full and not is completely full. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that way you're accepting more incoming knowledge and share your knowledge as well. And that's super important. So on that note, guys and girls, thank you so much for joining us today. So see you later, Twitter Nation, Insta Nation, and the LinkedIn Nation. How cool is that? So on that note, guys, catch you later and have an awesome day.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
See you later.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place.
Subscribe.